What's up, everybody? Nate here from Out of the Basement, bringing you a brand new action figure review today from Star Wars The Black Series. We are taking a look at the gaming greats ZAALBAR. This is, of course, from Knights of the Old Republic, and it just feels good to be back doing a review. As most of you know, I was recently on vacation, had a great time, saw some awesome mountains, went to Twin Peaks, saw my cousin, and I'll talk more about it on our Sunday stream, but let's just jump into the figure itself. Highly anticipated. I know that I was really excited when they announced this figure because it is not often we get some KOTOR love in the line. So I'm super happy. I've already taken this figure out, and I can already tell you that it is surprisingly good. So let's take a look at the package here, and then we'll just jump into the figure. So here we go. It's in the standard new Black Series packaging. You can see the Gaming Greats logo right down here, along with Knights of the Old Republic. It says ZAALBAR as well. Of course, on the side, we get some art here. On the back, we've got the bio. You can go ahead and pause it, read it now. He's number 4 in the Gaming Greats line. And of course, there is a larger image of that portrait there. We also have the Black Series logo there. On the bottom, of course, we've got the barcode and all of that stuff. Nothing on the top as per usual. So let's go ahead. We're going to jump straight into this figure. We'll take a look at the accessories and then the figure itself. And starting out here, we have his bowcaster, which looks pretty awesome there. Little bit of black paint on the handle, along with some nice gold here on the ends, which looks awesome. Looks like it just came straight out of the game. Of course, we've seen this bowcaster before, but it is the updated bowcaster. As most of you know, this is in 2 pieces, and you gotta, plug this piece in, and it's much sturdier on this one, so it doesn't fall out like the original Blue Line version did. But otherwise, it's just some gray plastic here. Still looks really nice, though. Definitely appreciate the game accurate details there with the gold paint. And of course, we also get a brand new accessory here. This is a vibro sword from the game. This is more of like the 2-handed version here. It's super big. You'll see when I put it in ZAALBAR's hand that it's even pretty big for ZAALBAR, but look at this awesome sword here. Looking so good, pretty much straight out of the game. It's got some red plastic to it, some nice silver paint for the blade itself, and you can see on here there's some really nice gold details and along on the handle as well, all the way down to the bottom here where there is some more silver paint. So this accessory looks awesome. And what's even better is that ZAALBAR does have weapon storage for both. So what I've kind of been doing is just kind of pegging it in like that, using this little plastic piece here, slide that in, and it honestly fits in there pretty well. Doesn't want to fall out or anything. And of course, if you wanted to, you could also just kind of slide the sword in there as well. So it could either work for sword or the bowcaster, although I definitely think it's meant specifically for the bowcaster, but the sword does fit in there, so nice. All right, let's take a look at ZAALBAR. All right, and here is Big Z out of the packaging on the rotating base, and just take a look at how awesome this figure actually looks. Of course, right off the bat, it is on the old 2013 Chewbacca body, a body that desperately needs an update. However, I think there are still plenty of things about this figure to love. First off, you can actually get him to hold the sword with both hands, so that is very good. That was definitely a big concern of mine right out of the gate, and honestly, I think that it actually was a lot easier than I anticipated, so that was good in my book. Of course, we also get a brand new ZAALBAR specific head sculpt there, and you can see he also has his red straps from the game. Now we just need a mission to go right with Big Z, but you can also see that there is some real nice paint detail that I didn't think showed up very well on the promotional images of this figure. Remember, it just kind of looked like one straight color, but of course, as you can see in front of you, we've definitely got more than that going on here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take him off the stand and we'll get a closer look. All right, and just take a look at right off the bat, there's a wash. He's got a wash. No way. Look at all this awesome fur detail that is just popping out here. Love the paint apps that they did on Big Z here. Of course, he's got his accurate face there, which of course he looks like your run-of-the-mill Wookiee, although he's got that big black nose there. That kind of sticks out a little bit more because of his lighter fur tone. And you can see that it gets even lighter when you move down a little bit on the figure there. On the chest here, you can definitely see how light it gets. And then on the back of the figure as well. So it's consistent on both sides here. Which that little bit of detailing though, just look at how much that adds to the figure and adds to the sculpt. It really makes it pop out and it looks awesome. And if you just wanted a quick side-by-side with Chewie, I've got the blue line one right here, so you can see the head differences close up. Of course, we also got Empire Chewie there, which looks great as well. But yeah, you can see that there's definitely differences there. And then, of course, you just have his red straps, which are featured in the game as well. And those look really nice. It doesn't appear to be removable. I think you would have to cut it off if you wanted to remove it, just to maybe have like some regular Wookiees, because I'm sure you could do that too if you weren't particularly attached to this character. You could definitely get this just as a Wookiee that isn't a Chewbacca. But of course, I know him as Big Z, and he is an awesome character, always a favorite party member to have. And just looking down here, of course, it's more of the same, but you can definitely see there is a little bit of a wash going on in certain places. Not so much on the shins here or down at the feet or on the arms, but you know, right here, pretty much throughout the middle of the figure, even on the upper parts of the leg here. So we really get that sculpt to pop out. And really, it's not a bad sculpt. I think the major issue with the original Chewbacca figure is just the articulation isn't that great. For Big Z, it still does work pretty well. So there you go. That is pretty much a rundown of the details. We've seen this body a bunch, so there's really not a whole lot new going on here, besides this epic head sculpt. Love how that turned out. All right, let's take a look at the articulation. So right off of the bat, yeah, you pretty much know we're not getting anything out of that head there. Just a little up and not down at all, and just a very small amount of side to side. This is definitely due to the sculpting here. It is a softer plastic, but it still isn't soft enough. And then of course we also have these straps here that inhibit the articulation even further. Although you could pull them out, it doesn't really make sense to have them out that far. That's kind of how they're supposed to be. So that is also blocking the head articulation. For the shoulders here, you can see they do move all the way out and they do rotate around. No butterfly joints here because this is an extremely old figure. Well, at least the body mold, I should say. For the arms here, not even 90 degrees on the elbow there. Definitely some real dated articulation. Does have some swivel. And the hands rotate as well here. And he has a horizontal trigger finger. And his right hand is the same. It is the horizontal hinge, but it does rotate there. So yeah, the elbow articulation definitely could use an update. As for the crunch here, you can see you do get a little bit forward there. Not too bad, but of course the straps here are going to bow out. And then going back, not too much there, kind of just straight forward. We do get rotation there as well, of course. And down to the legs here, yeah, you can see doesn't really kick too far out. For the splits, this is about what you're working with. The kick back isn't bad though. Of course, you still do get thigh swivel right there. Single jointed knee that doesn't quite give you 90 degrees. Of course, it also rotates. Down to the feet, pretty much get nothing forward or back. Just a little bit of rotation. So you can definitely tell the Wookiee body needs an update. It still looks fine. In fact, I would actually say it looks good. I think the sculpt is pretty good on it. But the articulation is 100% dated. So unfortunately, ZAALBAR does suffer a little bit in that regard. However, I will note at least you can get not only the sword in both hands, but also the bowcaster there. But then, of course, the problem comes from if you want to pose ZAALBAR looking like he's shooting. I guess that's not horrible, but that's probably like as good as you're gonna get because this head does not really want to move all that much. But yeah, so I guess now we can go ahead and do some comparisons here. Not really a whole lot to compare ZAALBAR with because there's not too many KOTOR figures in the line, but here he is with Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan. Then, of course, we've got to do some Chewbacca comparisons, so you can see him with the Empire Strikes Back Chewie and the A New Hope Chewie. All three figures share the same body, but have different head sculpts. So if you own one of these, you pretty much know what you're getting out of ZAALBAR here. And of course, you can see the different fur tones between the figures looks really nice as well. ZAALBAR, of course, being a much lighter Wookiee. Of course, we got to get some Bandai model kits in here. We've got the Shadow Stormtrooper and the Mando model kit as well. And last but certainly not least, we've got the SH Figuarts Tank Pilot and the Mafex First Order Stormtrooper. So all in all, ZAALBAR is definitely a dated figure in terms of articulation, but I do think that the details more than make up for it, and of course being a fan of the character also helps as well. Like I said at the beginning of the review, I will take any KOTOR figure they throw at us, so keep them coming. Even if you got to do some reuse, I understand, and I think this figure, it works, because like I demonstrated, you can still hold both weapons with both hands, so that's pretty much a win in my book. However, I still think that we need an updated Wookiee body. So there you go, that was my review. Of course, nothing crazy going on with ZAALBAR here, pretty much standard fare for the Gaming Greats line so far, but still awesome to have this character now officially on the shelf, and I'm so happy that that KOTOR section of my collection finally has another figure to add to it that's not just Revan but in white. So yeah, I'm stoked. Pick this one up if you find it in stores. I definitely think it's worthy of a spot in your collection. Like I said, you've also got potential for just like another Wookiee to have on the shelf, and I think that's fun. I always think having more Wookiees is fun. But of course, I'm Nate from Out of the Basement. If you enjoyed my review, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. We've got tons of reviews coming out on the channel here. So many Black Series figures just recently dropped, so you're going to want to stay tuned and check out all of those videos. Of course, thank you to all of our channel members. Much love to you. Everyone else out there, still love you too. I'm happy to be back here. And of course, just liking and subscribing is enough for us. But thank you so much for watching. I'll stop rambling here, and I'll see you in the next video.